Hey friends, welcome to Whiskey and Wit. I'm Whitney, and in today's video, we are doing some more Dollar Tree DIYs. We are doing Easter projects, and they are all bunny themed, so stay tuned. Up first, we're gonna revisit these little Easter eggs that I got in a recent haul. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it works out. So I had an idea for this garland in the middle of Dollar Tree, and I'm happy to report it did turn out. So step one is to drill the holes so you can actually string this garland. So you're going to want to drill the holes on the side with the face because that's going to become technically the back. So I used these wood clamps and I drilled 2 holes on either side of essentially the head of that Easter egg. And then I put some jute twine through it, and that's how I am going to spray paint them. So because they're round and you can't really set them down to spray paint, I wanted to create just kind of this makeshift little paint studio thing. I don't know what I'm calling it, but I just took a cardboard box, put 2 slits in the side, and then I was able to hang them there and they could dry. So I used 2 different colors of Rust-Oleum paint, and I already had the spray paint on hand, but I made sure that I grabbed the 2 that said that it bonds to plastic. After 2 coats, they were ready to go, and I originally were going to leave them like that, but they looked slightly questionable just with that little bump. I will leave that to your imagination. And so I decided to add just a little pom-pom, and that helped it look more bunny instead of random body part-ish. After the bunnies were done, then I created this little pom-pom maker, and it was in place of my fingers, so I didn't have to do it multiple times around my fingers. So in that little slit that I cut on just some foam board, I put a piece of yarn. Then I wrapped the yarn around 50 times, and then I used that little slit to pull the original piece of yarn around the center. And basically this is the same process that I've shown before with my fingers. However, I like using this little thing because I made a handful of these pom-poms, and so I didn't have to wrap them all around my fingers. Once you tie it really tight around the center, you can cut all of your pieces loose, and then you can trim as needed. Then I strung my garland. I added just some wood beads that I had in my stash just to switch up the look. You definitely don't have to do that if you want to keep it all Dollar Tree. You could also use Dollar Tree pearls, but I like the fact that the kind of tan neutralized it a little bit, and it also made it kind of look like the hats that I made around Christmas time, and I was going for the same color scheme there. Once you have everything strung up the way you want, you can hook up your garland, and I think this looks so cute. Like I mentioned, they look very similar to the hats that I did for winter, Christmas time, and I put them in the same spot in our bathroom. This neutral spring Easter vibe in there I'm loving, and I love that they are just understated bunnies. They look really cute with my shelves in the bathroom. So let me know down in the comments, do you think that this project was a flop or a win with those little Easter eggs? Up next, if you watched my recent Kirkland's video, you have seen this bunny in another form. I made it in a hop sign, and it was the O, and so I decided to create one that stood alone for a tiered tray display. So for this, I used one of these spaced out signs. You could also cut some foam board to do the same look if you don't have the sign. After I pulled off the front, then I went through and cut with my Arteza hobby knife and my rotary cutter just 2 ears. I just freehanded it so that I had a piece that would stand up. Then I took some burlap and I Mod Podged it to the front of the ear so that you could just see a little bit of the white peeking through, but overall it looked like a burlap ear. Then I trimmed the excess around the outside, and my ears were good to go. While those were drying, I painted my sign white, both the front and the back, as well as the top edge. Once that was dry, I gave it a quick sand so that the edge popped and it made it look a little bit more dimensional. And then my last step was to attach my different pieces. So I attached my 2 ears using some hot glue just to the top. You may have to trim the bottom to have it curve with the circle so that it sits flat, but that's just a quick cut with your hobby knife. And then I created a pom-pom for the butt, the same process that we did for the last garland, but I wrapped it around my hand 100 times, all 4 fingers, and then I tied the yarn around the center to create the pom-pom. and then once that's tied, you're going to trim your ends to give you a pom-pom and then give it a haircut as you see fit. Once it was trimmed, I used some hot glue, stuck it to the butt, and voila! I love that this is understated and rustic, but you can also tell that it is a bunny. It is super cute to any little vignettes or tier tray setups that you have. Up next, we are doing another garland. You guys know that I love garlands, and this one is another take on the whole bunny butt situation, but also I decided to do some bunny heads as well. So the bulk of the sign is made from these little kid bunny tails that you can clip on, that you can get in the Easter section, and then I just took some felt to create the ears. So I made these ear shapes. I just freehanded them. They don't have to be perfect, and I cut out enough for all of my bunnies. So then I put a dab of hot glue down the bottom center and pinched it together. It looks kind of like a flower petal, but this is going to give your ears some dimension and have them sit up. So then once I had my basic ears, which are essentially the backs of ears, because this is going to be the bunny butt, I added some hot glue and glued them to the back. Now you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to where the clip is, because you want the clip facing down so you can clip it onto the garland. You're going to follow the same process for the ears for the bunny head. However, just add a smaller piece of pink felt to the inside of the ear, but you're going to do the same folding in half. I just hot glued the pink to the white before I folded it in half. Then same process, give it some hot glue and stick them to the back of your little tail, which now becomes a bunny. And then the last step was just to add one of those little pom-poms to the bunny butt of the one on the left. For this garland, to make it look cohesive with the other one that I made, I added some more wood beads. Again, these are optional. I just did a variety of sizes, and I like to use these as spacers in my garlands, just so it kind of breaks it up. And because I knew I was doing white pom-poms and the white little bunny tails, I wanted to have just a little bit of neutral contrast. So I ended up doing pom-poms similar to that garland I did earlier, so made them in the same process and tied them on as you're seeing here. The nice thing is when you use those tails to tie it on, you're able to slide it so you can space it out just like you want. But I did beads, pom-pom, beads, and then a bunny, beads, pom-pom, beads, and then a bunny. And then I hung it up on my mantle, and I love this. This is another one of those ideas that I was standing in the middle of Dollar Tree trying to figure out what I was going to do for certain videos, and seeing it come to fruition is super fun and exciting. Let me know down in the comments, are you a garland person? Do you like decorating with garlands? Are you more a tiered tray person? Do you set up vignettes? I'm interested to see kind of how you decorate, so that will help me with content in the future. Now, I know I'm not the first person to paint these ceramic bunnies, nor will I be the last. However, a lot of people do them in one solid color, and I thought it would be fun to do a play on buffalo check, as well as kind of make them look a little whimsical. So I grabbed 3 of these, 2 bunnies and 1 Easter egg, and some of my Waverly chalk paint. This is the color Elephant. I also painted another one white, then I painted the Easter egg white as well. So for the buffalo check Easter egg, I used a light gray chalk paint as well as a really thin brush, and I manually did the buffalo check. You're going to start by doing your vertical lines, and so I did a line down either side, basically cutting the egg in half. Then I also did the same thing in the other direction, so then your egg is in quarters, and then fill in more lines as needed so that you've got vertical lines wrapping around the top to the bottom of your egg. Once that part is done, you're going to go through and do the exact same thing horizontally so that you've got basically a gray grid on your egg. Then the last step is to take a Sharpie and color in the squares where they overlap, just like buffalo check does. Then to finish off the bunnies, I just did some light pink paint in the center of each ear and also on the cute little noses for both the gray and the white. And then I also went through with a Sharpie because I thought that would be a lot easier than painting it. Gave them a little mouth smile, some whiskers, and some cartoon-like eyes. Nothing crazy earth-shattering about these, but I think they are so stinking cute. These are awesome for tiered trays, but you could also put them in a variety of little setups. You could display them on their own or separately, one with an Easter egg. I just think the gray and the white look so cute together. And also, I didn't know this, but if you put them together like this, they can be super cute bunnies. Giving a little bunny kiss. Another one that is quick and easy, but it is a really fun decor piece, is framing Dollar Tree cards. That's another thing where I'm not the first person to do it, and I'm not going to be the last. However, I thought this card at Dollar Tree was beautiful, and so I decided to frame it, and I want to share it with you in case you haven't done this before. So take your card out, get off the front piece because that's all you're interested in. Take out the glass from the frame, use it as a stencil, cut your card so that it fits in the frame, and you're not going to want to put the glass on the front because it's going to smush your 3D card. So I put it back on the back to give it stability. I made sure that the cute little flowers as well as the little bunny ribbon on the chest, kind of where a bow tie would go, is hanging outside of the frame so it looks like it's three-dimensional. It gives a fun little pop of Easter and color to my gallery wall, and I think this bunny is super cute. I've been loving bunnies with floral crowns, bunnies with glasses, bow ties, all of the above. So I think this thing is so cute and it's so easy. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your favorites down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye!